What's up folks, TrisGamesHere here with GTA 5 to tell you the story of my wonderful loving family. And if you enjoyed this video, then you too will be blessed with a family as amazing as mine. Meet myself, Micheal De Santa, a former criminal who faked his death to live a peaceful life with the wife and kids, but now looking back, I wish I'd died for real. By the way, I lied about my family being wonderful and loving. In fact, it's severely dysfunctional, in ruins, and we all hate each other. We have my alcoholic, cheating wife Amanda, my jobless, lazy, obese, walking talking condom advert of a son Jimmy, with his one redeeming quality being having no filter.
No, I'm not calling nobody a nigga. Wait, what the fuck?
And my thought daughter, Tracy, who do be looking extra thick, which is actually really weird of me to say, as I'm supposed to be her father. Before I head back to my depressing household, I often take out my anger on the innocent civilians of Los Santos to blow off some steam because obviously I can't be laying hands on the missus. After all, a 5-star wanted level can be easily shaken, but a domestic abuse charge isn't so easy to run away from. Anyway, with my anger gone for now, I'm able to relax in the comfort of my own garden, and then even head out for drinks with my good friend Franklin. However, I'm suddenly called by my son Jimmy, and at first I was happy to hear he was outside, finally touching some grass, but that happiness was short-lived as it turns out he's got himself kidnapped whilst trying to sell my boat to some criminals. So I'm off to the rescue now, specifically for my boat, not my son, as saving him is nothing more than a nuisance side quest in my eyes. We chased my boat down and I came willing to negotiate. You know, maybe a trade, they can have my disappointment of a son and I'll take my precious boat back. Now, whilst the idea of selling my son to gangsters was rather exciting, that's not what a responsible parent would do, and I'm a great father. So I reluctantly saved my son, which came at the expense of my boat as my car dies. Now I was pissed and I needed to blow off some steam, but I wasn't in the mood to kill people and I can't just beat Jimmy. So what better way to brighten my mood other than mass genocide is there than treating myself to some new footwear? I took myself down to the shops with cash to splash, but this isn't the kind of shoe shop I expected. This lovely woman catches my attention though, so we head into the back where we have a family friendly PG conversation, which I won't show because anyway, it turns out me and this girl have a lot in common and we get along like a house on fire. So she invites me back to her place to play with some Lego.
So big. At first I thought,
Yes!
Yeah, don't mind the sounds guys, we just got excited about how big my Lego piece set was. After a nice long session with my female friend, it was time to head home and make love with the other woman in my life, my wife. However, when I arrived, I came to the realization that my wife is a cheat, indulging in some cheeky adultery with a tennis coach that I've been paying for. How dare her, cheating whilst in a totally happy marriage with kids? Disgraceful, I could never commit such a heinous act. Obviously, I can't let this slide, so I chased the man down, and coincidentally Franklin shows up. So now I've got me an accomplice for my revenge. We find the tennis coach hiding out on the balcony of his mansion, and luckily for him I decide to let him off lightly, only using my truck to pull half of his mansion off a cliff. Very reasonable if you ask me. We go off on our merry way, happy to have gotten my revenge. However, it turns out the house wasn't even the tennis coach's, but instead owned by Confronting Madrazo, who's the leader of a Mexican drug cartel, and he's certainly not a reasonable man, as he sends out his men to kill me. What happened to the days where we could have a diplomatic conversation and sort out our problems like real men with words? Instead, I've got to get my hands dirty and take out these pests. And now that I've shown Martin who's boss, I can finally head home and discipline the wife. At least, that's what I thought, until Madrazo actually pulls up to my house and beats me with a bat. Hey, at least it wasn't a golf club. I've heard those things can be deadly. Just ask Joel from The Last of Us. Regardless, that doesn't change the fact that Martin now has me on the ropes and I'm soon to be a submissive little doggy, as we owe him $2.5 million in repairs. With a spoiled family and a wife who prefers to suck my money and the tennis coach dry instead of me, of course I don't have that kind of money to pay up. So I'm left with no other choice than to call up my good old friend Lester the Molester, as it's looking like my bank robbing career may soon need to be revived. Before we think about getting our money up though, I've got a score to settle. After putting me through such an emotional, heart-wrenching and traumatic experience, my wife has the audacity to message me like this as if nothing serious even happened. Alright then, I guess non-violent discipline can work too, so I decided to ensure that I'd absolutely crush her into submission and defeat her in a battle of tennis. I arrived at the court, fueled with rage, ready to go with my trash talk lines already well rehearsed in advance. And although I did feel confident in my ability, I quickly realised this wouldn't be a walk in the park like I hoped, as it's clear all those post-match workouts with the tennis coach have massively improved her ball control abilities, making her a formidable opponent. I will admit she embarrassed me a couple of times, however in the end I came out on top and nailed that woman to the ground, so now I guess we're even. Well, there you have it guys. If you ever get cheated on, a passionate game of tennis is sure to fix all of your relationship problems. You know, I really did think destroying my wife at tennis would heal the pain and repair my fragile ego after my humiliating interaction with Madrazo, but it didn't. I still felt like a weakling with no power, so I needed to regain some authority, and what better way is there to do that than to challenge a random middle-aged woman to a race? Suddenly, running with such technique and pace had me feeling as if I was back in my prime, reigniting my long-lost passion for racing, as you can see, which some of you may mistake for violence, but no, it's just pure passion. Honestly, I really could have gone pro back in the day if it wasn't for that dodgy knee of mine, and that's why I live the life of crime to make my money today. Eventually, despite my flying start, I'm overtaken by the woman, and my ego once again takes a massive hit and is at risk of being shattered again. So I pull out a weapon just as a precaution in the event that she somehow nears victory. But luckily for her, it wasn't needed as I used every last bit of my energy and won the race fair and square, with the minor side effect of my heart almost giving out. However, after all that hard work, the stupid woman reduced my victory to dumb luck. And then suddenly the pistol in my pocket was now calling my name. It's safe to say her track and race days are long over and my desire for authority and power has finally been fulfilled. Happy days. So guys, now that I'm in a much better mood, it's time to kill my son. I called Jimmy up, asking to hang out, masking the inevitable murder of my own flesh and blood as some cute father-son bonding time. It was rather hilarious how this stupid idiot truly believed that I actually wanted to spend some bonding time with him. Has he forgotten the past 20 years of child neglect? Why would I suddenly want to give you attention? Unless I have an ulterior motive. I'm not complaining though. So we head towards the ocean at full speed and I bail out at the last second, with the idea being that fatty Jimmy won't survive as his weight will make him sink to the bottom like a bag of bricks as he slowly suffocates and dies by drowning. Mission successful it seems, as Jimmy's nowhere to be seen and he won't be missed. As you can see, now with one less disappointment of a child, I'm truly living the life and finally able to enjoy some TV in peace, until I hear the sounds of a fat pig in the house. I head upstairs in confusion only to find that it's Jimmy and he's still alive. Of course, my reaction to the news of my child being found alive and well is exactly what you'd expect. And then an argument follows. I gave him an ultimatum. Either he proves his life's worth by getting off his fat ass and coming on a bike ride, or I'll just happily put him down for good this time. And to my surprise, he chooses the first option. So we head off to indulge in Jimmy's once a year exercise session. I accompanied my son to the bike shop with my shotgun at the ready, but apparently murdering and stealing isn't the only way to gain access to vehicles and bikes. You can actually just pay to borrow one. Well, you learn new things every day I guess. Though you also forget 1,000 things every day, and I'm sure this is going to be one of them. Anyway, I absolutely smoked the boy in a race to the end of the pier. Yeah, he's completely useless in a race, but at least he's burning the calories, eh? Destroying my son was always going to be a pleasure and was actually quite fun, and I was really starting to think that maybe having kids was actually a blessing in disguise. Until Jimmy informs me that my daughter Tracy is out on a boat shaking that cake of hers for some porno guys. Come on, if you're gonna do that, then at least post it on OnlyFans and get paid for it. Then you can contribute towards the bills. I arrived at the scene, took Tracy back, and then before you know it, it was now father-daughter bonding time. Ah yes, gunfights and jet skis with your daughter on the back. Can't go wrong with an activity like that. I'm just kidding, don't try this at home, there's many safer alternatives. Unless you want to speedrun losing custody of your child. Just don't blame me if that happens. I bring her safe to shore, meeting up with Mr. Disappointment, only for everything to be thrown back in my face. And then the two rascals quickly abandon me. You see, this is what you get for great parenting guys, so you may as well just give your kids the belt treatment. It makes no difference. I'm really feeling down now guys, so brighten my mood by liking and subscribing if you're enjoying the video, and comment I support you. And to those who didn't, this guy's suffering is on your hands. Well, it's pretty obvious that it's not worth being around my family, so I may as well go and blow someone's head off on national television. No, I'm not joking. At first, I met up with my good old sexy pal Lester to arrange a heist so I could pay my debts off. But I see my precious boy is upset and wants the CEO of the social media LifeInvader dead. It's okay, for you Lester my Pookie, I'll do anything for you, absolutely anything. He sends me to their headquarters, dressed like I'm a billionaire math genius with low-level Asperger's. Those are actually Lester's words, by the way. And we've got to plant this bomb in their new prototype phone, which is being showcased on TV. Along the way, I met an amazing new friend, and as you know, friends help each other out. So now I'm the IT guy, and I've got to clean up my friend's PC, filled with very obviously not safe for work content in the workplace. The fact that he has all these ads tells me everything I need to know about the type of man this guy is. Disgusting. I was wondering why his keyboard and mouse felt so sticky, and I'm certain that weird sticky substance wasn't glue. Anyway, with that distraction out of the way, I could finally do my job, and then I was straight in the car on the way home to watch some mind-blowing TV. I really needed the remote badly, and thankfully my daughter, being the angel she is, kindly gifted it to me. So now I could switch the channel and watch some lovely casual television. You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun, and I guess I really had fun watching that show, as before I knew it, weeks had passed by and I'd grown a beard and everything. It's time to get off my ass though and rekindle my relationship with my wife by joining her in some yoga. Things were actually going really well, as I truly felt I'd become one with the yoga mat. But as usual, my peace is quickly interrupted as suddenly Amanda is arching her back on the yoga coach. There's always something with this family, and once again I'm abandoned. You know life is truly at an all-time low when I'm now resorting to hanging out with my son without trying to kill him. And surprisingly, he's open to the idea despite previous events. So we go for a drive together. Somehow my son knows me really well as he offers me a drink whilst driving, and of course I snatch that up. Except it's not just alcohol, it's spiked with drugs, and next thing you know I'm living life up in the sky, slowly plummeting to my demise. I then woke up borderline naked, but I'm not complaining to be honest, and I rushed home, ready to truly discipline the family, only to find they've took their things and left me. Woo! What a relief. Finally some peace and quiet. Massacring the whole family with bullets, especially Jimmy, would have been great, but this quietness is more than enough. And now with this welcome serenity, it's time to call it a day and get some rest. Thank you all for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider liking, commenting and subscribing, making sure you have the bell notification on for all my new uploads. And to all my new and current subscribers, I thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.